Older couples that decided to not have children, how do you feel about your decision now that years have passed? For my spouse, I can only say that they have physical and psychological issues that they've mentioned that they'd rather not pass on to a child. For myself, I've always said that, while I'm occasionally afraid that someday I might regret not having children, that's not the same as wanting children, and that's an important difference to me. I have my own reasons to believe I'd probably not be a good parent. Yeah, we both get concerned sometimes whether anyone will be asked to care about the sole survivor once the other's gone or incapacitated. But this thought is the result of our decisions, not a basis for changing our minds about having kids, which we will not. Having kids or not is no guarantee that you'll end up cared for or not anyway, though it does probably move the needle on your odds. Edited to clarify that last paragraph somewhat. I worked with a nurse who never regretted not having kids, but she loved them so goddamn much that she still wanted children in her life. She instead donated her time to being a big sister in the Big Brother Big Sister program. She was able to pour out love to a child who needed it without being a parent. I was a little brother when I was young. I'm so grateful to my mom for signing me up when I was young. The impact my big brother had on me was profound. He's become part of our family now and is no longer my big brother. He's my close friend, my mentor, and someone I aspire to be. I have nothing but love and admiration for those that sign up to be big sisters and big brothers. My mom is a big sister to one of her former students, and it inspires me so goddamn much. Their relationship is so special. I'm not a couple, just a person. I've been in lots of relationships and was married twice. I would not have made a good parent. Regret sometimes I wasn't born into a different life, but given the cards I was dealt, I think I made the right choice in that department and have no regrets. Do you view yourself as an understanding person, or as a cynic, or something else? I have a feeling I'll end up like you one day. I'm so sorry, I understand that fear. I'm not in a place where I could parent yet, and the love of my life was terrified of the idea of children for many years because of his parents' treatment of him. We're at a point where, if we are ever financially solvent enough and emotionally stable enough, we'd want to foster and go from there, but I'll never have biological children. I refuse to pass on my bio father's worthless genes. Something I saw on Reddit once was, if you would have been born in a different place, or had made this decision instead of that one, that wouldn't be you. It would be a different person asking themselves that question, maybe with different morals, different ways of thinking, and a different past. You're the culmination of your decisions and experiences. My second biggest motivator to abstain. For some reason I feel like I could sit down and read your whole life story. You just got that aura. My husband and I are in our 50s and have been married 19 years. We both grew up with abusive dads, were the smart kid in the family, got the hell out as soon as possible, worked our way through college, and made something of ourselves before meeting and getting married. A lot of common ground, and we've built a strong, rock-solid marriage. We considered having kids, but after working so hard on healing from the childhood abuse and escaping the cycle of poverty we grew up in, we decided long ago that just the two of us was enough. We still consider ourselves a family, and we've been really happy with our life together. Our home is peaceful, and that's the thing we care about the most. If I had to choose now, knowing what I do, between becoming a mother and having the marriage and home life I now enjoy, it's absolutely no contest. Zero regrets. Thank you for writing this. I'm a 31-year-old woman that is trying her damn hardest to heal from an abusive childhood and a couple rough relationships. I can't say that kids are a priority right now, as I'm trying to heal and make sure that hurt is not passed along, or even that a relationship is wanted, until I'm more secure in my personal foundations as a human. It's really lovely to hear that you met your husband in your 30s with the same issues and same priorities and were able to build a good life. That's a big worry for me, and you really helped put me at ease about it. I love reading both these posts. I really don't wish any of you had to go through what you went through, but having kids in the middle of that is even worse, I think. I have my traumas as well, and I don't want to have kids because of that. What pisses me off more than anything is people who have kids because they are going to fix their traumas and make their life better. I feel that is so selfish. I wanted them, but never met the right person. I'm really glad I didn't have any of my previous partners. They would either have made terrible mothers or we just did not make for a healthy couple. I have the perfect partner now, and she did fall pregnant, but we lost the baby to Andy Walker syndrome. Getting a bit too old to try again now. I'm very upset that I will not have children, but I don't regret not having children with anyone but my current partner. I find this heartbreaking. Internet hugs, friend. Not sure if this helps. My wife lost her first pregnancy and was utterly devastated, very sad. She had medical problems that had to be fixed, but eventually she was pregnant again. We had our child at 40 years old, and we have a wonderful teenager now. If you want children, it's not too late. Either your own or one of the many children in the world in need of adoption. We've been married 20 years. We are both 50. Neither of us wanted to bring children into our family. I spent a wonderful afternoon with my 16-year-old niece yesterday. We talked about her boyfriend, picked blackberries and discovered a woodland clam, fingernail mussel, living in a mud puddle, vernal pool, in the woods, which we named Fred. It was magical. I just adore her. Not having kids is just as normal as wanting kids. I've always felt zero regrets. Exactly. I have a freaking adorable nephew. I have two crazy haired, entirely polar opposite from each other girls that are my friends' kids and my goddaughters. They're awesome. They are fun to play with. They are great to crawl around with and play with stuffed animals with and draw with and give my nephew potatoes he thinks are his pets. When the girls are teenagers and one of them is doing things to make her parents want to murder her, I'll be there to bail her out, and it'll be awesome. And I'll go home to my dogs and be very happy. I like being able to add to arguments a perspective that parents don't have. But I like to wait and see if my opinion is wanted, because I'm the aunt, not the parent. I go back and forth. My so has some significant mental health issues and I know that I would be alone doing much of the emotional labor of raising a child, and I know I'm not really capable of doing it alone. Sometimes I worry very much about what I will do when I'm old. I'm an introvert and don't have many friends, and I'm not overly likable, so I assume I will be alone. I just hope that there are some kind robots to take care of me and that I'll die before the robots turn on us. Just like when you're young, if you're a nice person, you'll have people who want to be around you. But virtually everyone dies alone. RN here. There aren't death watches by hordes of loving family members commonly seen in hospitals or nursing homes, and most deaths at home are during sleep or while the patient is alone. Very few people want to be the one sitting there at a bedside for days on end, waiting for the person to die, holding the potentially dying person's hand, and everyone goes out in the same big plastic bag. If you have no friends, it's because you're not a friendly person. Even old people who are nice have friends, even if it's only the staff at a nursing home. We have regulars at the ER. If you're a nice person, we will befriend you. If you're a prick or a... Nope. Been married for 21 years and initially we tried to have kids, but found out that it was going to be hard to do. Wife was heartbroken at first, but I was somewhat relieved. It's a lot of responsibility and your life changes to accommodate a child. Over the years, wife has actually said a few times that she was glad we didn't have kids because we couldn't have had the adventures we did. I feel like it was the right choice and we are better off due to not having kids. We love our life and are continuing our adventures now in our 50s, and we are starting to make plans for retirement. My husband and I are in the same boat. I'm 38 and he's 43. We've been trying to have kids since we met some years ago. I hope that one day I can accept the fact that I won't be able to. How did your wife finally accept it? I know we'll have an amazing life even without them, because like you two we'll travel and have adventures and probably retire early, but I find it bittersweet and at the moment hard to accept. Adoption might be an avenue if you really want kids, or as another poster mentioned, the foster care system. I know adoption can be costly and complicated, though, but at the end of the day, there's no real difference between an adopted child and your own flesh and blood, at least in my opinion, as someone who was adopted before birth and raised by my, technically non-biological, family since day dot. My mom has always been my mom. My dad has always been my dad, and I'd never felt any lack of bond or affection for them. No regrets. Not everyone wants them, and if you're not sure, it's best to hold off. Having ambivalent, or worse, parents does a real number on a kid's self-esteem. Yes. So much so. And kids are hard. I 100% wanted kids, love my kids, wouldn't change it for the world, and I still have days where I'm convinced it was the worst decision ever. I still have days where I fantasize about what my kid-free life would have been like. I cannot imagine coping through the bad times if I hadn't absolutely wanted them. Even now, my husband and I like to joke whose f***ing terrible idea was it to have kids. We were both on board, both 100% certain, scared as f***, but definitely wanted kids. I love them like mad, but holy hell, some days. I really appreciate this perspective. This pretty much strikes me as how most of the parents I know see their kids. I guess there are always the ones who were obsessed with having kids from the start, but the people I know with cool and interesting lives and careers who try to maintain those with kids have a rough time. My parents were great, very loving, no complaints, but they're boring AF, and I don't want to end up like that. I think it depends on the parent. My dad was in rock bands, and was a painter, and did lots of cool shit and still had 3 of us at home. Mom worked so we spent a lot of time unmonitored after school. But dad still has a ton of friends, still, at 65, goes out and plays clubs and stuff. You can have kids, and still have a ton of adult fun. Just have to relax a little bit, and not treat your kids like royalty.